Hey guys, welcome back. So today for the deck highlight, I have a Silver Samurai list for you guys, which is, for me, I think it's the best Silver Samurai list out here. So we have so many different options with this list. We have some big combos with Wong, Silver Samurai, and Black Bolt, but we also have some good tempo play with our stature, right? So we can Silver Samurai and then stature easily on turn 5 or on turn 6. So yeah, I'll get into the deck highlight, but just a few things before I get into it. First of all, please, if you guys could like and subscribe. Most of you guys watching are not even subscribed to the channel, so it would mean really a lot if you guys could subscribe. And for a second part, I have an announcement, which is I have a second channel up where I'm covering a new game, which is called Warcraft Rumble, right? So Warcraft Rumble is a game that just released in soft launch in Canada. It's like an RTS game that it's pretty much like Clash Royale. If you guys are interested, go look for this second channel in the description down below. But what does that imply for this channel? Absolutely nothing. It means I'm still going to post as often as I am right now on this channel. I'm trying to reach 1K. So yeah, I'll reach 1K pretty soon. Subscribe on this channel, subscribe to the other channel if you guys are interested. And yeah, let's get into this deck breakdown. Yeah, let's get into it. So what does Silver Samurai do? Let's start with that, right? So Silver Samurai is the new card that just released tonight. It is a 4/5 that has the unreveal ability of each player discards the lowest power card from their opponent's from their hand and from the opponent's hand, right? This is really interesting because I thought it was the lowest cost card, but it's actually the lowest power cards, which is really interesting because it means we can discard our opponent's Iron Man, Mystique, Cerebro, Darkhawk, sometimes Devil Dino, Ronin. All of those crazy cards that have a really low power are going to get affected by our Silver Samurai. And in our deck, we're going to play some cards that want to get discarded. So what are these cards? They are X23, which is a 1/2. Right, so 2 is the lowest power card, tied with Wolverine and Zabu. So yeah, X23, we want to discard X23, we want to discard our Wolverine with Silver Samurai, and we want to discard our Swarm, and we want to discard our Muramasa Shard, which comes from Dakin, right? So we'll go over every single card one by one, but you guys can quickly understand that the best value cards to discard with our Silver Samurai for us is X23, Wolverine, Swarm, and the Muramasa Shard from Dakin. So yeah, what does X23 do? If you guys are not familiar, X23 has the ability of when it is destroyed or discarded. In this deck, it's only going to get discarded. So when it gets discarded, it gives a +1 energy on the next turn, which is great because if we play our Silver Samurai on turn 3, let's say with our Zabu, it means that on turn 4, we're going to be able to play our Black Bolt, which can be extremely powerful on turn 4. Yeah, there's also some other plays. Just getting some extra energy from X23 can be really powerful. In some matchups, you have a lot of different flexibility we can get from X23. So yeah, Silver Samurai, obviously we could play it on turn 3, 4, or 5, or 6. But if we play it on turn 6, we're not going to get the value from stature. But yeah, if you can play your Silver Samurai at the right time, X23 can get a lot of value. Next up, we have Wolverine. So Wolverine has the same type of ability where when you discard it, it gets +2 and it gets played on the board, right? So Wolverine is also a good target for our Silver Samurai. But our Wolverine is also a great target for Culling Wing. So I forgot to mention Culling Wing for X23. X23 is also a great target for Culling Wing. So what does Culling Wing do? It discards our lowest cost card from our hand, which means it's probably going to discard our X23 or our Wolverine, right? So if you guys have Zabu, play your Zabu. Don't play Colin Wing. If you guys have Zabu in hand, just play Zabu, and then next turn play Colin Wing, right? So let's get into Zabu, I guess. So what does Zabu do, right? Zabu has the ongoing ability of your 4-cost cards cost 1 less, and in this deck, it's great because we have so many. Whoops, I misclicked on. Let's find our Zabu here. All right, our kitty cat here. So our cat here, Zabu, has the ability of your 4-cost cards cost 1 less. And we have so many 4-cost cards in our list. We have our Wong. Playing Wong on 3 is great. We have Shang-Chi. So and we have Shang-Chi and Absorbing Man, which both of them on turn 6 can be a fantastic play against some lists. Some lists that drops a lot of power, such as like High Evo. Well, then you could play like your Shang-Chi on 6 with Absorbing Man. If your opponent has initiative, you're going to play both of them and then probably kill their Hulk and maybe their Abomination and stuff like so, right? Yeah, so Zabu with Wong is a crazy play because it allows us to play Zabu on 2. Okay, listen to this play, guys, right? So it allows us to play Zabu on 2, and then on 3, we play our Wong. On 4, we play our Silver Samurai, right? And which hopefully is going to discard like our Swarms. And then on 5, we play Black Bolt in all of so both Silver Samurai and Black Bolt in the Wong lane, which means our opponent is going to discard 4 cards, right? So what is he going to play on turn 6? Probably nothing. So our opponent is not going to have any good play on turn 6 because we're going to have him discard so many cards on turn 4 and 5. And for us, if we discard all our Swarms, we're going to have so much things to play on turn 6, and we're probably going to steal the win. Right, so Zabu, really good. So Zabu on 2, Wong on 3, Silver Samurai on 4, Black Bolt on 5, right? You could also Silver Samurai on 4 and Absorbing Man on 5, which also works. And then you're just going to have like a lot of Swarms. You're going to have like, wait, so 1, then it gets discarded. That's 2, it gets discarded. That's 3, and this gets discarded. That's 4, and then gets discarded. That's 5. So 5 Swarms, right? If your hand is empty enough, you're gonna have 5 0-cost Swarm on turn 6 with other cards to play, which is pretty nutty. Let's be honest. So Colin Wing. Colin Wing is a way of discarding our low cost and low power cards, right? Because now we're trying to discard both. With Silver Samurai, it's the lowest power. With Colin Wing, it's the lowest cost cards, right? But luckily for us, our lowest cost cards are also our lowest power cards. So X-23, Wolverine, and Swarm. So don't discard Zabu if you can. Play your Zabu and then discard some other stuff. But if you have your Colin Wing and you have like a X-23 in hand and a Wolverine and Swarm, Colin Wing is just great. Just a 2/4 stat line is already great by itself, but with the extra value of all of these 3 cards, it becomes fantastic. Next up, we have Dakin. You guys are familiar with it. By the way, it's Dakin, right? It's not Dakin. Some Marvel Snap content creators have been saying Dakin. I'm pretty sure it's Dakin. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's Dakin. But Dakin spawns a shard in our hand, which we want to discard with our Colin Wing or with our Silver Samurai. But yeah, so our Dakin is probably going to go to 3/8 with discard, which is great. So even if we don't have our Wong, let's say we don't have our Wong, we Dakin on 3 with Silver Samurai on 4. So we have a 3/8, and then we have a 4/5, which discarded some card we wanted to discard and discard our opponent's card. So that's a good play. That's a pretty good play. Dakin on 3, Silver Samurai on 4. Great play. Next up, we have Wong. So Wong is really good because we can do that crazy combo that I mentioned earlier of Zabu, Wong, Silver Samurai, Black Bolt. But it's also good because we can Wong the Dakin, or we can Dakin into Wong. So it's going to have 2 shards, and then we can Colin Wing into Wong, which is going to discard both shards, or we can Wong into Silver Samurai, which is going to discard maybe like 2 Swarms or stuff like that. We can also Wong to Black Bolt. We can Wong into maybe something to Absorbing Man, which is also crazy. So yeah, Wong has a lot of value here, and is a big meme card in this list. Honestly, if we could do our whole combo, it's pretty funny to see our opponent just playing only his top deck card on turn 6, which is pretty funny. So we have Shang-Chi here. Shang-Chi is especially played on turn 6 with Absorbing Man. So because of Zabu, we can play 2/4 costs on turn 6. You guys know that. So you play Shang-Chi and Absorbing Man for some lists, which are pretty crazy, right? Shang-Chi is just really fantastic in any list. But in this list is especially good because we don't have that much vertical power. So Shang-Chi is going to deal against those matchups that do drop a lot of power. All right, Absorbing Man. So I mentioned Absorbing Man earlier. Has some value with Kali Wing, has some value with Dakin, has some value with Silver Samurai, and has some value with sometimes even Black Bolt, right? So Absorbing Man is pretty good in this list, but the best combo with Absorbing Man is Shang-Chi. So Shang-Chi, Absorbing Man, like I just mentioned. Next up, we have Silver Samurai, which is the new card. Okay, so Silver Samurai, I'm quickly gonna say it. For 6k token, I don't think Silver Samurai is worth it. But if you guys are unlocking this card, it's a pretty cool card. It's a pretty fun card. But yeah, it's gonna maybe create a new archetype. Yeah, I think right now it's not the best card, but it's gonna get better in the short amount of time. So yeah, Silver Samurai, you could play it on 4 after Wong. You can play it on 3 if you have Zabu, Silver Samurai, and maybe you have X23 or Storm Wolfer in your hand. It's really good. You could play then Silver Samurai into Black Bolt. Once you play your Silver Samurai, then you have your Stature, which is going to cost 1. So I guess let's just jump into Stature, I guess, right? So Silver Samurai discard a card from our opponent hand, and it discards a card from our hand. But nonetheless, it's going to make our Stature cost 1 because Stature has the ability of cost 1 if your opponent discarded a card from their hand this game. So Stature was a little bit clunky before Silver Samurai because you could only trigger it with Black Bolt, but now you have Black Bolt and Silver Samurai to trigger it. And it's a really, really good card. So you play Silver Samurai or Black Bolt, and then you have a 1/6 that you could play in any lane and get you a win. So yeah, really, really good card here. Stature with Silver Samurai and with our Black Bolt. So yeah, I guess let's get into our last card, the Black Bolt. So Black Bolt is a 5/7 that has the unreveal of discard the lowest cost card from your opponent's hand. So this time, if you look at Silver Samurai, unreveal, each player discards the lowest power card from their hand, but Black Bolt is discard the lowest cost card from your opponent's hand. So this can be really good because we are going to discard maybe your opponent's death. If your opponent is playing destroyed, there's a lot of destroyed cards. Well, then you play your Black Bolt, and it's gonna, let's say the death costs 0. Well, you're sure you're gonna hit the death with the Black Bolt, right? So yeah, Black Bolt has that ability. Also has the ability of bringing Stature to 1. So I guess that's more of a Stature ability, but still. So we have now 2 options to discard our Stature, the Silver Samurai and the Black Bolt, which makes this deck pretty dangerous. But yeah, so this deck really powerful. I love this deck. It's mostly fun. It's not I don't think this is the most broken deck right now in the meta. It's gonna get better as more cards get released. There's some cool cards coming out in September in the whole Loki season, which I think are gonna help this deck a lot. But yeah, until then, let's jump to some Conquest gameplay. Perhaps let's jump into a Gold Conquest, and I'll see you guys there, and hopefully we can get some win. So see you guys there. All right, let's get into this Gold Conquest. Hopefully we play against a deck that doesn't use Cosmos, so we can do this whole Wombo combo. So we do get Project Pegasus here on turn 1, which is pretty interesting, actually. We can Dakin into Colin Wing here, which is going to bring our Dakin to 8 on turn 1. So yeah, I think that's a good play here. So our opponent plays Dr. Doom here on turn 1, which probably means he's playing like an ongoing list or something like that. Turn 2, it's Wakanda. So we'll play our Zabu here, middle. So he plays Craven. So is that like a version of the Silky Smooth deck? I'm not sure. We get Silver Samurai here. If we play it, it's going to discard our Shang-Chi, which maybe might make sense here, but I'm not too sure. We can draw a few things on turn 4, which would be good. I think we are just going to skip here. Worst case scenario, we're just going to get some intel. So yeah, it is a Silky Smooth deck. And then we play our Silver Samurai, let's say right. And hopefully, fingers crossed, it's going to hit our Swarm, right? Because both our Shang-Chi and our Swarm are 3 costs. So playerr gets discarded, and we get our Swarm discarded, which is fantastic. So here we are going to play our Absorbing Man, probably, I would say right, which should discard our Swarm, or we go for Black Bolt, right? I think we go for Absorbing Man. It should hit either our Shang-Chi or a Swarm. Let's play it. You know what? Let's play it middle. So if Silk goes right, then we'll be in a great position for turn 6, right? Because turn 6, so we win the right lane on turn 6 here. Please hit a Swarm, Nightcrawler, and another Swarm. All right. So here, I think we play Black Bolt. Wait, what about we play Black Bolt, Swarm, Swarm, and Swarm here? So we win right for sure. And then 7, 10, 13 on the left. All right, I think we are going to try it here. So we should win right. And then if Silk goes left, we still win, right? We do. We do still win. So Silk goes left. We have +3. We win on the right. So we are going to take 2 cubes lead here on round 1 against our opponent. So our opponent now has Nebula, Kraven, Spider-Ham, Silk, Spider-Man, Arrow, Dr. Doom. So I'm probably expecting like probably a Magneto or something like so. We are not going to snap, but we do have a Zabu on for turn 2, Dakin for turn 3. Oh my god, Elysium changes everything. I guess we are going to play our Dakin middle. So Black Bolt on 4 is actually pretty good against our opponent here. We can destroy the Nebula. We can destroy... nope. So Sunspot here. Black Bolt gets hit. But it gives us a 3/7, which is pretty good here. If we play our Silver Samurai, it's going to hit the Shard, and we should be in a good position. So I think we should snap here. Hopefully pulls our 3/7 pig, obviously. So we hit the wave, which is great. So our opponent has a wave. Uh-oh. So this is going to hit our Zabu, unfortunately. So we are going to play our Wong middle, just in case we draw our... No, doesn't matter actually at all. We have X23, Wolverine, Swarm, Absorbing Man, and Stature, which are all bad for this list. So I think we are just going to play our pig here on the right. So now it's turn 5. So we're going to play our Wong and maybe a Wolverine left. No, we don't want any Vibranium, right? So we're going to play... Yeah, but if we Wolverine left, we have some better odds of Silk going right, which I think would be the best pick. So I think this is what we are going to do here. Polaris pulls Colin Wing. And then Silk goes right, which is pretty good, I think. I mean, so we win here, right? By killing the Sunspot. We get 12, 15. And then he has 12. We win here. And then we Vibranium here just to make sure the Silk is in middle. He's probably going to play middle, which is interesting. It's dangerous, but we're going to do it. So here we kill the Sunspot. Hopefully Silk goes middle. And then hopefully it goes left now. No! Alright. So, wait. So we tie left. We win middle by 8. And we lose Sakar by 3. So we're in a great position here. So we are going to take a 4 cubes lead here on our opponent in round number 2. All right. So we have Nebula here on turn 1. We didn't have our X23 for turn 1, so we're going to play our Zabu here on turn 2 in the Nebula lane. So our opponent doesn't play any cards on turn 2, which means he probably doesn't have Sunspot, probably doesn't have Nightcrawler, Kraven, Spider-Ham, or Silk. But there's still 2 unknown cards from our opponent. So we are going to play our Wong middle because regardless of where we play it, it's going to get yanked middle. So probably we should have played it on the right. So that was a misplay for sure. So Zabu gets pulled here on the left. Okay. This sucks. I guess we have to play deck in middle here. So here we're gonna have 2 shards, and hopefully we get like Colin Wing or Silver Samurai to discard those 2 shards. Our opponent does have a Shang-Chi though. So if we Silver Samurai, both shards are gonna get destroyed, which means our Dakin is gonna be Shang-Chiable, but we're gonna be able to Shang-Chi our opponent's Abomination on the right. Should we still do it? What about we play a shard and then 1 shard is getting discarded, our Dakin goes to 8, and then Swarm or Shang-Chi gets discarded, and then if it's Swarm it's good, if it's Shang-Chi it's bad, right? So we go for a 50-50 here. Next turn we play our stature. Yeah, I think we have to take those odds because he's definitely going to Shang-Chi. Okay. So, what? So he has a Shang-Chi and a leader here. So we get our Shang-Chi discarded, unfortunately. Which means we should lose here, probably. Yeah, we are going to lose here, right? So he has a leader and Shang-Chi here. So all 12 cards of our opponent is revealed here. This is not enough, right? Because this is 13. And then we're losing mid. I think we just retreat here. So leader, Shang-Chi. These are the two missing cards. So here we do have Call It Wing, which can discard our Wolverine, which is great. Yeah. This is a pretty good turn 2. There goes the Nebula. Unfortunately, we have Dream Dimension, which screws up our Black Bolt play here on turn 5, but we might be able to Silver Samurai here on turn 5. So he plays Spider Ham, which destroys the Black Bolt, which is perfect.
Enough said, bub.
So Monster Island is good if we get our Shang-Chi, but we don't have anything to play on turn 3 here. So he plays Sunspot and Silk here, which is pretty good. We could Wong to Silver Samurai, but we're going to discard the X23 and probably another card here. Probably the next card we're going to draw, and hopefully it's going to be a Swarm, right? So our opponent has 3 cards. If he plays 2 cards, we're going to destroy his whole hand. For turn 6, he only plays a single card. Go middle, nice. It pulls Wong, and now we're gonna draw Swarm, hopefully. So draw Zabu. So Zabu and X23 are gonna get discarded here, and then next turn we're gonna be able to play Stature and the Pig. And maybe wait. So Stature's 1, Pig for 5, or it's 6. So that's probably gonna be all what we're gonna be able to play. But our opponent has 2 cards in hand, right? So we're gonna discard Leader. And Arrow. So our opponent doesn't have any card in hand. If we can draw Shang-Chi here, we get Swarm, which isn't great. So our opponent has 1 card in hand. He's just going to play it middle, right? So, yeah, I think we're going to have to retreat here once more, which is fine. We have such a big lead here that we should be able to win here. We're still at 8. Our opponent is at 4. And now, hopefully, if we can draw our Silver Samurai here on turn 2, 3, or 4, that would be great. 2, 3, or 4. I think we are going to play our Zabu middle, because if we don't play into the like Hellas on turn 2, Nebula's going to go to 5, on turn 3, 7, on turn 4 to 9, and then on turn 5 we're going to be able, or 6 we're going to be able to Shang-Chi Absorbing Man or something like so. So I think Zabu here middle is great. So the Spider Ham hits the Wong, unfortunately. I guess we play Dakin here. Dakin is going to get a good buff if we're able to discard the shard here. Here we are going to probably play our X23. Do want an extra shard in our hand, perhaps. So maybe we Absorbing Man and X23, right?
Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man here.
Okay. So we don't have stature here, but we could play our Colony middle with a Shang-Chi left. Shang-Chi won't get any more value because our opponent doesn't have any big 9-cost cards, so we can play it now. So we'll try that right now. Go right, I think. If we go here, Silt moves, that's 15, 22. We are going to be at 11, 19, which is not enough. Do we have enough to win middle? If he plays arrow middle, he could play arrow and sunspot middle, let's say. We know he has like a Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi could destroy our Dakin. That would be an issue. If he plays Shang-Chi middle, destroys the Dakin, that would be 4. And then he could play Sunspot left. So if he plays Shang-Chi middle, he would add the 3. And then 4, 5. So he would be at 11. We would be at 11. So just like that. 11, 12, we already win middle, so we should go with Black Bolt left, right? I think we should be good here unless I'm mistaking. I'm mistaking the arrow. And yeah, we are gonna win here. So yeah, we had to work a little bit against our opponent, but because we knew our opponent's deck, we were able to secure the win here. But yeah, hopefully this was a good highlight of the deck. Silver Samurai has some good value. It gives like a second option to play stature on turn 6 or even on turn 5. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and tell me what kind of decks you guys want to see next, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys, take care.